As part of my welcome sequence after somebody opts in, I have several free reports that I like to give to people. Now, the problem that I'm running into, right, I have these three reports that I'm giving. The problem that I'm running into is that not all of these reports apply in every person's situation. Some people come to me for the products that most relate to report 1. Some come with products that are most relating to report 2, and some come with for products that are relating most to report 3. But I want to make sure that I hit all of my bases, and so I'm sending everybody all 3 reports just in case they are interested in a particular report. The problem is if someone's coming to me for products they're interested in from report 3, it takes them almost a week before they get that information. Whereas if we were to send this, if they're only interested in this report, we could send them information more tailored around this. That's kind of what I want to do. So I'm going to use plus this and then reconfigure this campaign so that when somebody opts in, they can actually choose what they're interested in, and then plus this and Infusionsoft will automatically send only the content that they are already interested in to them. So if I'm going to go into the feature library and plus this and into the implementers toolkit, and I'm going to add the cycler feature. Okay, the first thing we're going to do here is we need to set up a series of tags for each of our individual reports. We're actually going to start setting up separate sequences for each of our reports. Okay, so first we're going to create a tag that indicates that the person indicated interest in that particular report. So we're going to call this report 1 interest. And then for the start sequence tag, we're going to create a tag called start or send report 1. That's what we'll call it. Now, when we go into Infusionsoft, I'm just going to allude to this and then we'll talk about it again later. We go into Infusionsoft, this tag is actually going to start a sequence that's going to have the first report in it. So we'll get to that in a second. Now we're going to add a new sequence because now we need to go to report 2. So we're going to add a new tag, which is going to be report 2 interest. And then we need to add a new tag for the start sequence, which is going to be send report 2. And then lastly, I only have 3 reports, so I'm just going to do this 3 times. So now we've got one for report 3 interest. And then send report 3. Okay. And then we're going to skip if this tag is applied, skip everything process. That basically just means if someone already has one of these tags, then we don't want to send any of this content. Maybe we want to send a different set of content. And then when someone has gone through all of these pieces of content, then maybe we want to apply a different tag. We're not going to worry about these right now because we just want to make sure people get sent. So this will be cycler 3 reports. Whoa. Okay, so once we've added this feature, and again, we've got an interest tag, which just indicates what it is that we're going to be sending to them, and then a start sequence tag that corresponds with that particular report. We're going to click Add Feature. We're going to copy this feature URL, and we're going to use this feature URL several times in the campaign. So now we're going to get into sort of the reorganization of what's happening in this campaign. First, we have our opt-in goal, and we have our welcome sequence that's happening here. The first thing we need to do is go into our form. We need to have a way for them to indicate interest in one of the 3 reports, or all 3 of the reports. It actually doesn't matter which. We could have them select all 3 and still get sent all 3, but that at least we know that those people are interested in all 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a series of checkboxes, 3 of them. This one's going to be, I'm just going to call it interest in report 1. Okay. And then when they're interested in report 1, we need to apply the tag that says interest in report 1. So we have a report 1 interest tag. Here we go. We need to make sure if they select that they're interested in report 1 that we're applying that tag. Then we need to add another one. and then the third one. Okay, so once we have these three checkboxes, and by the way, we can set up these questions however we want. You can ask the question however you'd like, and then it will just apply the tag that indicates that they're interested in that particular product or that particular report. Once we've done that, we're going to go back to the campaign, and we're actually going to take the content out of this sequence, report 1, report 2, and report 3. We're going to split those out into their own sequences. Okay, so I'm actually going to get rid of these pieces here. Because we're going to go create our own sequences in different places, okay? So first thing we're going to do is create a tag goal. So other, this is going to represent report 1. We'll call it send report 1 because that's the name of the tag. Now the nice thing here is because we're specific about this particular report, we can send more information than just the report, right? So if we know someone's interested in report 1, in this sequence, I can have it set to first send the report. So we'll go communications, email. This will represent report 1. This actually has the free report in it. But then we can do follow-up information about this because we know that they're interested in this, just in this one report. So I'm going to add one more email that's going to indicate that somebody's interested in follow-up on this. Okay. We'll set up a timer. It says 3 days. Okay. Now we're going to go back to campaign. Now, what I'm going to do real quick here, just for time's sake, is I'm just going to copy this for report 2 and then for report 3. Okay, so now I have these all split out, and I guess I can come in here and I'll change the text in here as well. Now, the last thing that we need to do is we need to configure plus this to actually decide which of these to put them in. So first thing we got to do in order to make that happen is we have to set up these tag goals to get applied when, or to run when the particular report tag is applied. So send report 1 is going to kick off the sequence, send report 2 is going to kick off the second sequence, and so on. And then the last thing that we need to do is inside each one of these sequences, we need to have it configured to run that feature, the cycler feature that we configured in plus this. So we're going to go into the opt-in sequence, and after we send a welcome email, we're going to wait a couple of days, and then we're going to start this cycler process. So we're going to use an HTTP post, and we're going to paste in the feature URL from plus this. Okay, mark it as ready. Now what we need to do is go into each one of these sequences and run the process again. Because after someone gets the information from report 1, they might want, they may have indicated that they wanted to get information about report 2 or report 3. So we need to make sure that we run this on after each sequence. So we're going to have this timer set to wait 3 days, and then we're going to paste in the same HTTP post URL from plus this that we pasted in the earlier piece. Because again, we need this to go back and check if they are interested in any of the other free reports. Okay, so we'll configure the emails with the right information, and then we'll come down to send report 2, and we need to add the same thing to the end of free report 2. So I'm going to make this timer, delay 3 days, and then HTTP post at the end, and we're going to paste in that same feature URL. So in this case, it would be like if they selected that they wanted information on report 2, we need to go back and check and make sure that they do or don't want information about report 3 as well. And then we're going to come in here. Now in report 3, because we're going in order, so this is something that I want to point out. Because I'm going to be going in order, sending report 1 first, and then report 2, and then report 3, nobody's ever going to select report 3 and to get report 3 first and then to get report 1. But you could configure the feature to send report 3 first if they select it, right? You do that by moving this one to the top. So now this says if they select report 3, that's the first thing we're going to send. And then we're going to look for report 1 and look for report 2. And in that instance, we need to make sure that we had it set on each one. Okay. So what I would do in this instance is you probably don't need to add anything here unless you have report 3 higher up in the chain, because it's not actually going to be checking anything. Okay. So we're going to go back to, make this a draft, go back to the campaign. And once we publish this, this will now be set that once someone fills out this form, based on what they check, the check boxes that they check off, it's going to send all the content that's relative to what they actually want to see. And again, we can build any number of emails and other pieces of information into each one of these sequences that's more specific to what they're doing. And that's all we need to do.